What are your thoughts on buying Starbucks?
I hate Starbucks. I hate everything about Starbucks, so I would say don't buy Starbucks because they're a corporate behemoth that's lost all soul in every way, shape, or form.
This is the story of how Starbucks, once viewed as the most dependable coffee stop in America, quietly began to fall apart. The company is now struggling through declining sales, product launches that turned into public messes, store closures across the country, worker strikes that grew louder each year, and controversies that kept piling up. The viral frenzy surrounding the limited edition Bear Cup made all of these issues much more visible because it showed how far the brand had drifted from what people once loved about it. Today, we're breaking down how Starbucks lost its direction, and the Bearista Cup release is the perfect window into the larger problems happening behind the scenes. Starbucks introduced the Bearista Cup on November 6, 2024. It was a glass mug shaped like a small bear wearing a green beanie lid, priced at $29.95, and customers reacted almost immediately. Lines formed outside stores well before sunrise, and many people arrived long before opening just to make sure they could grab one. What they found instead were shelves that never had stock in the first place, because some stores only received 2 cups, while others received only 1. People who came at 4 a.m. said that the cups were gone by the time the doors opened, and some customers never even saw one displayed. The tension escalated in Houston when deputies from the Harris County Constable's office were sent to a Starbucks around 5 a.m. to break up fights and remove people refusing to leave the store. Their public statement even joked that deputies were restoring peace before anyone spilled a latte or lost a teddy bear, which made the situation sound almost humorous, even though the crowd genuinely needed police to calm things down. Starbucks apologized and claimed they didn't expect demand to reach that level, yet earlier releases had followed the exact same pattern. January 2024 saw chaos over the pink Stanley Cup, and November 2023 brought another wave of frenzy over the red Stanley. Before that came the peachy pink Quencher, which created its own round of viral videos and overnight lines. The formula stayed the same every time: limited stock, overnight campouts, frantic grabbing, and huge resale prices. A professor at Worcester Polytechnic Institute pointed out that brands use limited edition drops because they create urgency, and that's exactly what Starbucks kept leaning on. What nobody expected was how heavily Starbucks began depending on these moments, which suggested the brand understood that its usual excitement had faded. Instead of generating interest through great drinks or warm store experiences, Starbucks relied on orchestrated scarcity to spark attention. It was a sign that something deeper was slipping. Starbucks tried to push a major shift in its menu with the launch of protein lattes on September 29, 2025. These drinks contained up to 36 grams of protein, and they were positioned as a big new direction for the company. But customers noticed problems almost immediately. Videos began circulating of drinks turning thick and solid, and one widely shared TikTok compared the beverage's texture to oatmeal because it no longer poured like liquid. Baristas posted online that they followed the recipe instructions, yet the drink came out different each time, and many said they had not been trained at all on how to prepare it, which meant consistency was impossible. This happened on the heels of the Oleato launch, which added olive oil to coffee. The drink started in Italy in early 2023, expanded to the United States, became available nationwide in January 2024, and was discontinued by November 2024. Customers complained about digestive issues, and baristas mentioned that several staff members felt sick after trying it themselves. For a drink that was meant to be a major innovation, the reaction showed how far off the mark the idea had landed. These product failures weren't minor menu mistakes. They were major initiatives that Starbucks invested heavily in, and the outcome highlighted how disconnected leadership had become from customer preferences. Instead of creating drinks that people loved, these launches turned into examples of a company struggling to understand what customers actually wanted. The result was less excitement and more confusion. Starbucks often described itself as the third place, somewhere between work and home where people could relax or meet others. Howard Schultz talked about the idea constantly, but the original concept came from sociologist Ray Oldenburg, who introduced it in 1989. When Starbucks began expanding, Oldenburg said the company even sent a limo to recruit him, although he declined and later explained that a genuine third place couldn't be manufactured through corporate planning. Older Starbucks locations felt closer to that vision. Customers found velvet armchairs, mellow lighting, and a slower, warmer atmosphere. Those spaces encouraged people to sit, work, talk, or spend time with friends. Over the years, that environment shifted dramatically. Many modern stores feature hard wooden seats, fewer electrical outlets, and reduced seating overall, which made the cafes feel more sterile and less comfortable. Some locations removed all seating completely, San Francisco was one of the clearest examples of this change. Several stores transitioned into pickup-only spots with no seating, including one in the Castro district that had once been known to the LGBTQ community as Bearbucks. A shift supervisor described how the removal of seating eliminated the welcoming feeling that had made it a local meeting place. Writers have compared these newer layouts to hostile architecture, which discourages people from staying. Harvard Business Review also pointed out a contradiction in Starbucks' new strategy, since the company promoted something called experiential convenience. Convenience depends on saving time, but real experiences depend on spending time, and those two ideas don't work well together. By stripping away everything that made the stores feel inviting, Starbucks reduced the emotional value that once justified its prices. As the third place faded, so did a core part of the brand's identity. While Starbucks struggled with failed drink ideas and a declining in-store atmosphere, competitors expanded aggressively. Luckin Coffee, a Chinese brand, surpassed 26,000 stores, and 10,000 of those opened within a single year, which meant they were adding roughly 8 new stores every day. Their business model relied on small pickup-only shops, low prices, and app-based ordering. When they brought that approach to New York, they offered drinks for $1.99 through their app, which was far below typical Starbucks prices. Dutch Bros also gained momentum. Their stock increased 76% in 2024, and they reported 11 consecutive quarters of beating earnings expectations. Their loyalty app now accounts for most of their sales, and they plan to reach more than 2,000 locations by 2029. Another competitor, 7 Brew, became the fastest-growing restaurant chain in America in 2023 by jumping from 14 stores to more than 500 in only a few years. During this stretch of expansion, the bubble tea market in the United States climbed past $3 billion and is expected to reach $5 billion by 2033. Together, these brands built fast, affordable, streamlined models that appealed to customers who wanted quick service and lower prices. While Starbucks focused on scarcity-driven merchandise drops, its competitors built operational improvements that positioned them for long-term growth. These companies filled the gaps left by Starbucks, which made it harder for the coffee giant to maintain the cultural dominance it once had. Starbucks hired Brian Niccol as its new CEO after his successful run at Chipotle, where the company's stock rose significantly during his leadership. Starbucks offered him a large compensation package to join, and by the end of 2024, he earned $96 million, mainly through signing bonuses and stock grants. Meanwhile, the median Starbucks worker earned $674 per year, which created a pay ratio of 6,600 to 1, the highest in the S&P 500. This number became even more striking because workers were already engaged in ongoing disputes with the company. In December 2024, employees walked out at over 300 stores across 45 states, demanding a $20 a minimum wage and a contract after nearly 4 years of stalled negotiations. The National Labor Relations Board reviewed 49 cases involving Starbucks and found that the company committed unfair labor practices in 48 of them. One judge described Starbucks' behavior as a scorched earth campaign against union organizing. These conflicts pushed public perception in the wrong direction and made it harder for the brand to maintain trust with customers. Starbucks reached its 6th consecutive quarter of declining sales while continuing to close hundreds of stores. The company's approach to new product launches wasn't working. Their redesigned cafes felt less inviting than in the past, and many employees were still asking for better pay and treatment. The Bearista cup frenzy became a symbol of the company's reliance on viral scarcity tactics, which replaced the genuine excitement that once came from new menu items or comfortable store environments. Even though Starbucks still operates around 17,000 US stores and brings in billions of dollars, it now sits in a space between staying operational and staying culturally important. Simply surviving does not mean the brand is thriving, and the distinction between being iconic and being just another coffee chain has become more pronounced. The current Starbucks story reveals how far the brand has drifted from what made it feel special. The Barista Cup frenzy wasn't just about a limited edition product. It exposed a company trying to regain relevance while dealing with declining sales, failed drink launches, sterile store interiors, worker disputes, and faster-growing competition. Starbucks once offered comfort, community, and the promise of the third place, but those qualities are slipping away. The company isn't disappearing anytime soon, yet the identity that once defined it is fading, and that shift feels less like a simple business challenge and more like a cultural loss.